Good Sunday evening, everybody. Hope y'all are having a great weekend. It's a holiday weekend. Hey, there's Daryl. Hi, Daryl.
Hello, how you doing, Ed?
Oh, I'm doing flabtabulous, brother. Let's see. We got Carolina in here. How you doing, Carolina? DNR, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for stopping in. Long time no see. Lisa, how you doing, dear? Hope you're doing great. So, uh, so uh, hope everybody has having a good holiday weekend. I want to thank everybody, all the military, the present, past, and future. Thank you all for your service. Hey, Ken, how you doing?
Hello, Ken. Hey, Caroline.
So, so you doing better, Daryl? I know you guys had.
For right now, I'm
So,
starting to lose a little bit of weight, and my and my medicines. I got to adjust my medicine to do it now. So
well, that's a good thing, ain't it?
yeah,
Hopefully, maybe someday with diet and everything, you won't have to use the pens no more.
yeah. I've been doing good. I hadn't. I really hadn't been using them much lately. So
Just stop watching my cooking videos.
that's why I've done that. I hate to say it, but I've done that a while ago. Ed.
Hey, no big deal, man. I understand. Uh,
I mean, I watched the other ones, but I can't do the cooking videos.
I understand it, man. Hey, I don't blame you. Uh, sometimes it's hard to resist that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
That's kind of how I backed off my low carb stuff or no carb, just because it's a pain in the ass. To be honest.
yeah, yeah, it is.
So thank you, Caroline. Appreciate that. So, but yeah, I've been on vacation all week. Uh, I got some stuff done. I got the pad made for the shed when I just decided to get that ordered. There's a couple things I got to take care of first. Um, I'd really like to get some rock or crushed ground lime or ground asphalt and put down on top of that dirt, uh, just to help with drainage and stuff and keep the moisture away from the bottom of it. But there's a couple other things too. Um, Apparently, my homeowner's insurance, has gone up uh, because I gotta pay my my insurance and taxes are rolled into my mortgage payment, and I'm the July 1st payment for the insurance and taxes will be $400 short if I don't come up with that, or my payment will go up to more than what I want it to. So uh, I'll just I'll just come up with the $400 and pay it off and keep my payment at the way it is. Hey Adam, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, small
Hey,
family.
seeing Adam come in, I just watched this video a little bit ago on his shop cart, his hydraulic shop cart. That thing's gonna be sweet. Um, Sorry, it kind of got tweaked a little bit there, Adam, but you'll have that. You know, matter of fact, what is today? Today's Sunday. Would have been either yesterday or Friday. Uh, I got that airlift for my tractors in my shop, and I was putting it down, and I hit the down button on it and turned my back and looked back over, and the thing was tilted. Uh, I had a block of wood underneath of it because it's a scissor lift like that, and as it was coming down, a block of wood was right in here, and it stopped it, and it was tipping it over. So yeah, about rolled monkey business off the lift. So, but but other than that, I've got some work done on it. Getting some work done on Plan B. Of course, earlier in the week, I had actually had to turn the furnace back on out there. It was like 55 degrees.
Well, it's supposed to be kind of that way this week right here. I mean, it's supposed to get uh, it's supposed to start raining tonight, rain tomorrow, then tomorrow night it's Tuesday. It's supposed to be down in the 50s right
I don't think we're supposed to get any rain until uh, after Tuesday here. I'm looking up right now. Let's see here. Monday, 5% chance on Monday, 15% on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, 80, Thursday, 20, Friday, 20, Saturday, 20. But see, Monday it's supposed to be 70, Tuesday, 70, Wednesday with the rain, 67. Then Thursday, 68, Friday, Saturday, 75, and then next Sunday, 77 or 71. And then the following Monday is supposed to be 15% chance of rain with a high of 77, and then 78 on next Tuesday. So,
now. Yeah, Carolina, it's come up in these hills. It's supposed to be sloppy the next 3 days. Tonight, starting tonight through Tuesday, it's supposed to be sloppy around here. So,
right. Well, at least tomorrow, like I said, it's only supposed to have a 5% chance tomorrow. So hopefully I can get some more stuff done. I got I sprayed a bunch of weeds, and it said it may take a couple of days for it to start, for it to work. Well, only a little bit of the stuff is actually wilting. Some of the stuff I sprayed, and it's supposed to be a total non-selective, total kill. Some of the stuff looks like it's actually greening up and getting better. So
you spray fertilizer on it, Ed. You got the wrong bottle.
I used what they told me to. Like I said, some of the stuff is actually dying off. I got to get my plastic winter wall in my shop rolled up and get my weed eater and stuff out because it's over on the other side. Yeah, I gotta get it out and start cutting some stuff down, and hopefully tomorrow I can get mowing or get my yard mowed for the week. I was gonna do it today and just kind of lost track of time. So. Yeah, but all the stuff is around the edges of my concrete, my patio, and stuff like that. So I don't want to get that stuff on my patio. Hey Barry, how you doing, buddy?
Barry.
Thank you for stopping in.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I actually didn't even get I usually do my cooking videos on Sundays, and I didn't even get that done today. So I got to do it tomorrow too, along with working on Plan B, and like I said, a couple other things.
I thought maybe you was at the tractor pools all day yesterday.
No, it's actually it's next weekend.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, and last week I totally forgot I had to go over and get fuel for Plan B, and it completely till Friday afternoon. It completely slipped my mind. I went over to help my brother Friday afternoon work on his tractor. I got some old gas too around here I can use. I may try that tomorrow. But the place I buy my fuel at's not open on the weekends. So I'm going to have to go Tuesday and get a can of fuel. So I can get Plan B de-winterized, and I started making the side covers for it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, definitely. Past, present, or future vets. Thank you very much. Appreciate your sacrifices.
Yes.
So, but like I said, I got tomorrow and Tuesday because I actually took Tuesday off work too. So just trying to burn some holidays up, burn some PTO.
Hey, Wayne.
Hi, Wayne. How you doing, brother? Thank you for stopping in. So,
Well, you better put that on your list for first thing in the morning. Go run on Tuesday morning, run over there to get you get your fuel.
yeah. I think they open at 8 or 9. So yeah, I can run over there and get that because I got a couple other places I got to go to over there too. To get some stuff, but I think Monkey Business is finally ready. I got the carburetor readjusted, got it adjusted the right way. I was backwards on my adjustment jets. I adjusted the high idle or high speed circuit for the idle and the idle for the high speed, and I mean it ran, but it didn't run. And you guys seen it didn't run very well. But
Ed, according to your picture there, you need to put you some headlights in that thing, or put some fake headlights on it to make it look better.
I would like to, what I was thinking about doing. There's another guy there that has a green tractor, and he's got like the green underglow, which is pretty freaking cool. And he has it up inside the sheet. You can see it through the grill. If I could find green strobes to put in there, I thought that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, or get you some of them winky lights that they putting on windshields nowadays.
Yeah. But yeah, I can. It's just the old seal beam lights. That's what size they are, and I think the round like 4-inch tail lights will work, and I can get those in a LED strobe. I've seen those before, but I don't know if I can get them in green. There's trouble.
I want orange blinky lights on.
Mr. Jeff, how are you, sir?
What are you doing, Daryl?
I don't know. I haven't been able to. Last week I felt so doggone bad. I didn't even show up. So
you go to the doctor and have a bowl of chicken soup? Did you?
no, I stayed at home, but
no chicken soup.
Nope, I ain't had no chicken soup.
Well, everybody knows chicken soup makes you better.
Yeah, but I had my pins were a little too strong now. I've lost a little bit of weight and my pins are a little bit too strong.
Oh so no.
I'm having to learn to dial them back a little bit.
So I don't know if you guys see what Ken wrote there. If anybody's looking for a Simplicity 7112, that's the tractor I was actually working on. It's a really nice tractor. It's got the rotor tiller, mower deck. Deck needs a little bit of work, and the vinyl cab for it for like snow plowing and stuff. You guys can get a hold of me on Facebook or Instagram or even TikTok.
Well, since you're doing that, Jeff.
Well, she wanted everybody to know she was here too.
Well, at least she ain't climbing all over my head right now. So.
No, she's busy cleaning up potato chips.
I don't think I sent you that video of the different dog hairstyles people were doing. I think I just sent it to my one friend.
I don't think so.
They had some like the funniest ones were the Huskies. You know, because I mean Huskies have like that much hair, and the one that started the one clip that started out showing like right up in this Husky's face, and they backed out, and it looked like he looked like he's like this big around. So it was hilarious.
I used to have 2 long-haired Chihuahuas I took on the truck with me all the time, and in the summertime, I'd always shave them, cut the hair down a little, and them doggone they went from like this poofed out, to they look like little rats running around the truck.
when I had my black lab, because he was like the smooth coated retriever, so he had like real thick fur. We'd always have him clipped down short, and we could go clear up to where his collar was at. He didn't mind it, and we had to stop right at his tail. So his tail had real long, bushy hair, and his head had like the big mane. But he would stand still. He was excellent with water and everything, taking baths and that. But in the spring, when it started getting real hot out, he knew when we took him to the groomer, she was gonna clip him. And the first year, he about got her good doing his tail. The second or third year, I think it was the third year. It was a different. We took it to same place, different girl doing it, and we told her he don't like don't go past this collar. There's a mark where his collar's at, this choker. Don't go past that on his head, and don't do his tail. He don't like it. He won't let you do it. Oh, we can do it. We can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd that work?
Well, she took his choker off, and he don't like that either. He wanted his choker chain on. And we told her
He
that
was
too.
naked.
But, yeah. And she did up to it, and then she started to do like I think down here on the bottom of his chin, and he actually got loose. They had that muzzle thing that it's just a string that wraps around their muzzle and goes behind their head.
Mm-hmm.
He actually got out of that, and he was backed into a corner growling at her, and I had to go in and calm him down, and I told her, I said, I told you, I said, she's like, he was so good, I did up around, around his neck and back by his tail, and I wasn't gonna try his tail because every time I got close, he kind of hunched up and turned, but I thought I could do his neck, down below. I said, absolutely not. I said, he's the same way bathing him. She said, well, I didn't have no problem bathing him. I said, well, when I bathe him, I got to be real cautious and do like right from his eyeballs back, and not around his ears and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, I didn't have no problem with that. But she goes, I started down here on his chin. He's got a little ramp at the bottom of his chin where I started going up, and that's when he reared up and got loose from the choker or from the muzzle. I'm like, yeah.
This devil here, she does not like getting nails clipped, and she will. It takes. I got to sit on top of her just about it, and the Lisa clips one toenail at a time. Because she'll eat you up as you're trying to clip them.
Well, we always took him and our little dog to the groomer, and mainly because he had black nails, so you couldn't see where the quick ended. They could do it better than we could. And one time, the one girl got up into his quick one time, and after that, he hated to have his nails done. He would actually go out on our concrete driveway and dig his claws when they started getting long to wear him down.
Well, she'll say here, she uses her dew claw more than I have ever seen a dog use their dew claw. She will grab you around the arm with her paws, and that dew claw digs in on each side of you. So. Well, I can sit here and play with them all day, Jeff. But look, I can't. But you go to.
No, I try to show you. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my chocolate lab, I always had to take her and have her done. She from day one, she would never let me clip her nails. So I'd always have to take her and have her done.
Well, this one's due a vet call this week, so I'm gonna let the vet clip them while they in there.
Roadrunner, Mimi.
Hey, Roadrunner.
How you doing, bud? So
Amy got no claws because it's rabbit season, so she's busy chasing rabbits all day now.
Oh,
yeah. But I mean, I had a friend. She had a I forget what it was now. One of them, they look like a kind of look like a collie, but they're like the little short round
Shelby's.
Shelties. That's it. She'd get the clippers out and say, "Hey, you want your nails done?" And it was a female, and she would jump right up in her lap and put her paw up, and she could snip, 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 snip. And anytime she was painting her nails, the dog would come and sit at her feet. She'd put her paw up, and she'd have to put a little dab of paint on each nail on her front paws. But
Hey, Rail.
Hi, Rail. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, there's this one here. I mean, we got her. She was real, she was real small, but the one we had before this, she was like what you're talking about, Ed. You tell her she can get her nails cut. She'd jump up here on the couch, turn her butt up, and she'd lay there and go to sleep. I mean, it's just like. I mean, and this one here is the exact opposite because she will not.
Yeah. Well, I that same friend of mine bought one of those sander things for to do the dog's nails.
Yeah.
And it did a really nice job, and I borrowed it to try to do my chocolate labs. Nope. She sat there until I touched it. Well, she was kind of a little nervous when it was running, but as soon as I touched it to her nail, nope, she wanted anything to do with it. And I shut it off and waited a couple hours and called her up. And as soon as she heard it turn on, nope, she was gone. She didn't want anything to do with that. but she was noise leery anyways. Drills, I mean anything that made noise like that. She did not like it at all. So.
Oh, she's like Sammy's the same way. You cut the grass, Sammy doesn't want to be outside. She wants to be in here on the couch, and she'll wait until you're done.
Patrick Hattrick, what's happening, brother?
Hey, Patrick. Yeah,
I learned something new today, Ed.
What's that?
I took last week, I got 2 tires, so I got put on the back of the Mighty i8, so I got 4 matching across the back.
Yeah.
Which kind of burned me because it cost me $50 for them to mount them. I had to take them off and redo them anyways because when they put them on, they had the valve stems butt against each other. I looked at that. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I took the one tire today, and I took the rim that was off the 97 Ford. I measured it all out, and all the holes all line up. I said, you know what? I'm going to take this. Maybe I'll go over to Firestone or Mavis and have the one tire that's left over mounted on that, so I got a spare for the front. Well, it turns out that Mavis, Firestone, Midas, none of them mount used tires. If you don't buy new, they will not mount them.
There's a couple places around here like that. If you can bring your own new tires in, and they'll mount and balance them. But if they're loose used tires, they won't mount them and balance them. If they're on a rim and you just want the rim changed, they'll do that. But they will not, like a loose, like if you buy a 2 used tires somewhere,
yeah,
they will not mount them on a rim.
Well, I
told this guy, I said, first of all, it's a spare. Second of all, it's a tire that just come off the truck. And he's like, nope, we don't do that.
Yeah.
I said, well, how about this then? If I come over to buy a pair of tires for a front, will you do that? And he's like, yeah, we do that. And I said, well, guess what? They're 16-inch split rims. I'm trying to switch rims here so that you guys would do them. He says, oh, well, we don't do split rims anyways.
Right. Yeah, that's a real big thing around here too. Nobody will do a split rim.
No, man, I used to do them all the time, but
Yeah.
that was back in the early 80s.
Yeah.
They still had a bunch of split rings on semi tires back in them days.
Oh yeah. And you're absolutely right, Roadrunner. It's the liability issue. They don't know what it come off of, if they got broken belts in them, or anything like that. So.
And another thing, Walmart will not do it neither. I mean, even if you're buying the tires from them, they will not mount a tire that's different than the size that come on the vehicle. So.
Oh yeah, Wayne. There. I don't think there's any place around here that'll do a 3-piece rim anymore. They probably don't even know how to do them. But our Walmart around here, if you take even brand new tires in on the rim, some days they'll do them, some days they won't. They can be like, because I was going to have a couple done, and the old rims had tires on them. I just wanted to switch them out, and they're like, nope, we don't do that. Well, then a couple days later, I called up and said, hey, I need to make an appointment. I said I got a vehicle, it's not running, but I need the new tires put on the rims. I said, that's kind of the reason why it's not running. The tires that are on the rims are really, really dry rotted, and I don't want to take a chance of driving it in. Can I bring them in and have them done? Oh, yeah, sure. No problem. Come on in. We're not busy. So I went in, and I'm like, the other day, they said they don't do this. Guy looks at me and goes, they must not have wanted to do anything. He goes, I'm very sorry about it. Give me $5 a tire off for having to come back.
Yeah, I mean, like this pickup truck down here has got two 235 75 R15s, and if you just want to go to a 70 wide tire, just a slight bit wider, and they won't mount them they won't mount what is on the rim at that moment.
So, Patrick, you had the bike out yet, man? Or is it too much high water down there? I know you guys have been having some high water issues down that way. So, but yeah, I got the one tire shop that I use all the time, and they used to sell, until they went corporate, when they were still just a private tire shop, they used to sell used tires. Well, now they don't sell used tires, but about a year or so ago, I needed a couple tires just to get tires on something. And so we went out and found a matching pair, and the guy's like, well, he goes, I can give them to you. He said, but I can't sell them to you, and I can't mount and balance them because we took them off and they're used tires and we're not allowed to do that. I said, okay, no problem. I said, I can find some place. He said, and after I got them loaded up, he's like, now if you come in, later on today and have a set of tires that you need mounted on a set of rims, or switch down a set of rims, he goes, we can do that for you. I'm like, oh, okay. So I left. About an hour later, went back up, dropped them off, mounted them, balanced them, everything. He's like, yeah. He goes, we even if we give the tires away, we can't, at that point in time, we can't mount and balance them. But once they leave, they're your tires. So when you bring them back, we can mount and balance them. I'm like,
that's
okay.
Screwed up, ain't it?
Yeah. Well, it's all corporate.
Well, that's why I went the last set of ATV tires I put on these tires down here. I broke them down. I got two long bars out there in the shop. I broke them down and mounted them back myself because of the fact that I mean $20 on a daggone $20 used ATV tire. I mean, it wouldn't. It ain't worth it, So
Exactly.
I ran into another dilemma this week too.
What's that?
That big mower deck I got
Uh-huh.
it all together, got it under the tractor, ran the belts, went to hook it up. It won't turn. The pulley was just sliding. So I said, well, maybe the spring's not strong enough. So I
Yeah.
put a different spring on it. The same thing. I got a shorter belt and it's doing. So I was sitting there messing with it. And I figured out one of the spindles, it's just tight enough that it won't turn. It's like the grease is so old, it's just hardened up or something. So I'm looking at this thing saying, that's good. I got to jack this up, pull the front wheel off to slide this out one side and fight with this 600-pound monster to stand it up and get another spindle out of it.
yeah.
What you can do is take the Zerk fitting out and stick you some brake clean straw down in there and start shooting some brake clean in there as you're spinning it and get that brake clean work down in there, and then actually over grease it after you get it like kind of gooeyed up and everything, and then over grease it and try to force some of that old grease out of there, and hopefully it frees up. I've done that.
I thought about doing something like that. I said, yeah, the only thing is with my luck, I'll end up popping the seals out of it.
You won't pop them out. I've never have. I actually got a tool at work, and I got one here too. It's like a metal syringe.
Yeah.
You fill it full of grease, and it's got a little
Yep.
rubber hose on it. You screw it on, you smack that sucker with a hammer.
Yep.
And I've used that lots of times. Our Whacker Newsom, our wheel loader at work, it likes to, and it's just at the Zerk fitting. I can hit it with even my Milwaukee grease gun on high, and it won't push grease through. I stick that thing on with just a Zerk fitting end on it and hold it good and straight, smack it with a hammer good and straight, and a lot of times it'll punch through enough that I can get grease to go in it then. And that reminds me, it's about time to service that thing at work. And if I remember correctly, there's 27 or 37 grease fittings on it.
Well, it's a good thing. It's even got grease fittings on it though. Ed, you could have one of them all them sealed bearings in the daggone thing, and you can't put grease in them no more. You got to change them out.
Oh, it's a German machine. It's German made and designed and made, so it's got grease fittings on everything. I actually have to print out the page from the manual to make sure I get every single one of them, because some of them are on the bottom side of the boom and stuff like that, and you can't see them, and I totally forget about them. If they wouldn't get ripped off, I'd actually put remote grease fittings on some of them, so you can just
Guaranteed that'll come back not good.
They would come back broke off. Yeah. I mean they can't, the cage behind the forks on it.
Yeah.
I don't know what they've done to it, but it's all been out of shape. I think they've wrapped chains around it and tried to pull stumps and stuff out with it. And they've actually bent one of the forks. The forks aren't level on it no more. So when you're trying to go in a skid, it's just enough that out the tips, you got a very fine margin to get through the skid without getting it hung up.
It's amazing how many people bend forks, though, huh?
Well, I know how they did that. They were popping shrubs out of the ground. They were using one of the forks, and it got stuck on a big root or rock, and they were picking the back end of the tractor off the ground, bouncing, because I had a guy that told me that he's sitting there watching them do it. Instead of sliding the forks together and making them, wide and using both forks, they were just using the one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I gotta get that thing serviced, and all of our bigger trucks are C50. All three of our Isuzus, our big GMC C50 bucket truck, and our Ford F350 bucket truck. I gotta get all them serviced.
Yeah, I'm about ready to climb under the old 69 and start greasing that again.
Well, I don't mind greasing them. The Isuzus are what's a pain in the butt changing the oil on them. I don't have a lift big enough to lift them up, and there's just enough room I can slide underneath there with a big. It's actually one of them 35-gallon trash cans that's cut off.
Yeah.
It's a 50-gallon trash can I cut off. But trying to get the oil drain plugs out of them is the big issue. The front beam axle is low enough I can't get my 20-ton air jack under it, and I don't have a roller floor jack heavy enough to pick it up. So I usually just throw some cardboard down and slide underneath there and get it all broke loose and everything. And then, because there's not a whole lot of grease fittings on them, maybe a dozen the most, but it's just getting the oil drained out of them is a big pain in the ass.
I went to a car show today.
What'd you show?
I didn't show nothing. I went down to the M&M's factory. They have one down there every year for Memorial Day.
Uh-huh.
And the guy I know told me about it yesterday, so I looked it up and stuff. I says, oh, okay. It starts at this time. So I got up this morning. I stopped. I got gas because it's a ride to M&M's from here.
Uh-huh.
I got there, pull in. The guy says, you spectator? I said, no. He said, oh, you're going to put that in the show? Nice. He says, okay, the antique trucks, you go through this little entrance right over here, and that parking lot down there is for the antique trucks. So I said, yeah, that's cool. I go down there, and I'm looking. It's like one side is all people with their chairs out, and I'm looking at all the cars, and I get about 3/4 of the way down. There's 4 antique trucks sitting there, and I get down to the end, and I'm looking. It's like, how am I going to make this turn to come up the other side? I can't even make that. So after about 3 times to make that right turn, I went around, and I'm going up the other side, and I'm looking. It's like there's one spot here, and I'm thinking, well, unless I hit somebody or hit somebody's car, there ain't no way I could put this in one of these spots. Until I got to the other end, there was like 5 open spots. I pull in. I go to get out of the truck, and some guy walks up to me and says, you can't park that here. I said, why not? This is for Firebirds only. You got to park with the antique trucks. Now I'm sitting about 18 feet away from the antique trucks are in the next line. And I'm looking, it's like there's 4 of them and nothing but cars around them. I was like, well, I think I'm pretty close. Another guy is walking past, and he says, you can't park that here because this is for cars over here. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go back home.
Yeah. Did you tell them there was no parking spots over with the trucks?
Well, when you're standing there where I was, it was like looking right here at my bedroom wall in front of me was about as far away as you had to look. It's like, it's not like you were looking at the other end of the lot or something. It was straight across from where I was parked. It's like, I said to myself, you know what? This is what I paid $25 for. I'm done with it. I'm not even gonna bother with car shows.
Well, usually at the nicer car shows, they've got people that will direct you into parking spots where you need to be.
Well, there was a bunch of them. I mean, they had a couple of cops. It's like a main county road that goes past M&M's, and they had a bunch of people. It's like when you pull in, they take and fill out the thing for a registration. The guy tell you, okay, get on this lot, go here and there and stuff. But
yeah,
it started at 9:00. I got there a little bit before 9, and this place is pretty much all booked out already.
Yeah. Yeah, years ago, there was a car show that they wanted some of the guys to. One of the guys that we pulled with was involved with the car show, and he wanted us to bring a bunch of the tractors up. Stock didn't matter, if they looked good or not. He just wanted them there to kind of to promote the group and tractor. And the car people actually got bent out of shape because we had tractors there. This isn't a tractor show. This is a car show. So they put us way out at the very far end, way past where everybody was at. And we're sitting out there. It's like, there ain't even nobody fucking walking down here. But yeah, the car people didn't want the tractors there. It's like,
but that's like the antique truck guys. They run a show at the fairgrounds now. And I went up there with my tractor 2 years ago because, last year I was in the hospital, which we all know. But I went up there 2 years ago because I messaged the one guy that's like one of the top guys at this chapter, and I said, Tom, I can't walk far. Would it be a problem if I use my tractor as a golf cart? He says, yeah, no problem. He says, just don't run over nobody.
Yeah. And I bet you a bunch of people had a problem with it.
No, nobody said nothing. I rode around all day there. Everybody thought that little tractor was pretty cool.
Yeah, see, I thought if I ever got into like going to the shows and stuff, I got that old Cushman. It's not a golf cart; it's actually a utility cart.
Yeah,
like for in a factory. I always thought it'd be cool just to take that. If I went to the old like antique tractor shows and stuff, because hell, that thing's an antique. It's probably 40 years old, and just putt around on that instead of walking around. There's a big flea market down by me, and I like going. I just don't like walking the whole damn thing. And I was wondering if they would have an issue if I took my toter, my little snapper.
Yeah,
it's my wheelchair.
Yeah, but they get kind of snippy about some of that stuff going close to them cars, though.
You figure like this truck show up here. These guys are bringing in brand new, like this year it'd be brand new 2025 Peterbilts and really stretched out, done up over the road trucks and wreckers and stuff. It's like they don't care. Just don't bounce off the side of my truck. That's all I ask.
Well, you look at it, you go to these car shows, and all of a sudden, it says antique car show. You go to one, and half the cars in it is brand new Corvettes, brand new Mustangs.
Oh yeah.
Dodge whatever's, and wait a minute now. I come to see the old cars. I didn't come to see these daggum.
Yeah, they've got a big like car meet and everything in a town about 20 minutes west of me. They've got a burnout pit. They've got a cruise. They have a thing at the local drag strip where where you go race and all that kind of stuff. And the one big, they have like 3 or 4 different areas where they have like cars to show and stuff. Yeah. And I went into one, and there wasn't a car over 5 years old in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, where's the lot that has the old cars, the ones I want to look at, the muscle cars and stuff? Oh, well, those pieces of junk are down here around the corner. I'm like, so you guys got a prime spot on the main drag, and the muscle cars, the ones that are actually true race cars and show cars, are down the road and around the corner like a block off the main drag.
Yeah, that's that. That I mean, well, I mean, I went to a couple years ago. I went to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, up there to the Mopar, or one of the Mopar, the
Mhm.
big Mopar
Yeah.
event there at Carlisle. And I mean, first thing you did when you walked in was the new model stuff. I mean, heck, I want to see the old Barracudas, the old Challengers, the Chargers, and
Right.
all that stuff. I don't want to see this daggum new BS. I mean, when I look under the hood, I want to see a motor, not a plastic, not a big sheet of plastic under there. I mean,
But if I wanted to see that shit, I'd go down to the Dairy Mart on a Friday night and see all that shit sitting there.
yeah, I
You know?
mean,
Well, that's what I like about this car show they have up here for the trucks. They tell you flat out, there's no classes, there's no prizes. Just bring it and show it. Their idea is, we're not going to start judging. We're not going to do this and that because all it does is create problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've got friends that I pull with. They've got 3 or 4 old classic cars, and usually when they go to a car show, and they go to about 5 or 6 a year. They come back with trophies. They are very, very, very nice cars, and
well,
they put the work into them. They're old cars.
I won my first trophy at a car show. I took a daggum Volkswagen thing. And they stuck me in a special interest class because nobody didn't know what the heck it was.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a Volkswagen thing with a hardtop, and
Yeah.
I was dared to take it to this car show. And
Well,
by the guy I was working with, he said, "I dare you to take it down there." You know, we was gonna take his little. He had a 65 Valiant, convertible, and that's what we was gonna take down there, and he just gotten too heavy in the bottle that day from the whole work. And so I took. He said, "I dare you. I ain't cleaned this doggone Volkswagen thing up or nothing. I just drove it like it was." And I took it down there and I won second place. The only other thing the only thing else I was up against was a 3-wheel motorcycle, and and people could kind of figure out what that was. I got second place out of it, and I called him up at 11 o'clock that night and told him, I said, "Well, I'm bringing it back home." He said, you ain't got to worry about bringing it home tonight. Just bring it tomorrow. I ain't worried about it." I said, "No, I'm bringing home the trophy." I mean, the little 65 Valiant. It wasn't the best of colors. It was old gold color and all this stuff. So it never would. We'd take it to all the car shows and stuff, but it never would win anything. So I took it and I took the Volkswagen and said, "This was the first trophy that he's going to ever get." So time I walked in that night. I walked in. So I stopped by his house and at about 11:30, and I said, "Look at here, what I got." And I got a little plaque in my hand, and he said, "Let me see that." And to the day he died, he had it hung on the wall, and I never got to see my trophy. Well, when he died, his wife asked me what all I wanted, and so I said the very first thing I want is I want my plaque back up there. Y'all can keep the other trophies, because he'd take cars that he had for sale. He'd take them to the car shows, like the Corvettes and that way he could, and he won a few trophies with them. But I told him, I said, "Look, I want my trophy back hanging right there on that wall." And she said, "Well, you can have it." I said, "Well, I mean."
Well, I guess my problem is I don't have, I guess, what you call a professional show quality truck. Everything I've done to it, I've done it myself. So it looks all right, but I guess it's not professionally perfect.
Well,
I've never had anything pretty enough to go to a car show, but my shit runs.
Yep. I go
Well,
to Tractor Supply and places like that, Home Depot and Lowe's. Everybody checks it out. They're like, "That's a cool old truck. What year is it?" You tell them, it's like, "Wow, that's when they made trucks."
Yep. Well, it's like my pulling tractors. I don't build them to be pretty. I build them to do the job that need to be done. Get them down the track.
Yeah,
I don't put money into making them look pretty because just because it looks pretty going down the track doesn't mean it's going to do anything.
it might break
that's
in
why I
half.
gave up about doing tractor pulls here. It's like everybody's got to have the little wheel horses with the, a $6,000 motor set up on it, all chromed or aluminum and this and that. And they look at the old Power King sitting there with 16-inch wheels, and they tell you, "Oh, you can't run that. The wheels are too big." It's like, yeah, look at you. I got it right from the factory, 14 horsepower motor. Look at what you got under there.
Yeah, that's I like to look on the people's faces when you whoop their asses, and it's like, yeah, it's held together baling wire and bubble gum, but it runs.
Well, if I ever get back to where I feel like it and get the shop cleaned out, I am going to do the 91 again because redo that 91 because it was my first new vehicle I ever bought, and I'm going to put it, but I'm going to take it apart and put it back together. But
yeah, the only thing I ever had that was pretty enough that would even remotely go to a car show. I bought a 91 Ford Ranger, brand new, had a little 4-cylinder in it, and I basically just put a radio in it, and I didn't, or and a tonneau cover, and that was the only thing pretty enough that I had that would even be remotely for a car show. But everything else I had was completely utilitarian.
I didn't think about it till just now. I should have come on here when I was outside before, so I could give you a little walk around in a mighty 69.
hey,
But now I
John,
have to put my shoes back on and everything.
Hey, John, how you doing, bud? Yeah, Scott says there's a NOS Chrome SpeedX near him for sale, cheap. If you're interested, Jeff.
Nah, I got these 2 tractors. I'm just going to stop with them.
Yep. All right, Patrick, you have a good evening, bud. Thank you for stopping in, man.
later, Pat.
Hope to see you again, brother. Yeah, a friend of mine he's a local kid, pulled with him. He sent me a sale thing for somebody was selling a 39 cubic inch Cub Cadet V-twin, and I messaged him back. I said, "Yeah, that's I said that's all you, man. That'd be perfect for you." He's like, "No, man, that's a V-twin for you." I'm like, "Dude, I'd already done the 39 cubic inch thing. They're great. I love them. I just moved up in cubic inch." I said, there's no real class for them around here anymore. They'll hang with the 25s, which are the 46 cubic inch, but you're always going to be underpowered of them. So
yeah,
why build another one on the national level? The 39 cubic inches engines never really took off. I mean, there's guys that run them, but they throw them in with the other classes and just give them a hitch advantage and a weight advantage. So,
Well, you could blow the motor out of them like that video I showed you sent you the other day, but where it blows the tractor in half.
yeah, yeah. I've seen that video 2 or 3 times. That guy went over the hood when it broke in half.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of them back then that did that. That's why now if you look at any of the super farm stocks, they've got rails that run from up by the motor clear back and they hook into the rear axle. They're stiffening plates. And for a long time, the farm stocks and stuff, there's people, that's not farm stock. It's not farm stock, but it's safety stock.
Yeah.
So let them put them on them. Let them run them. Until you break one in half.
Yeah.
But the ones I like to watch are the old videos from like back in the 70s and the early 80s. The run what you brung tractors. And
Yeah.
them dudes have to have 3,000 pounds of suitcase weights hanging all over them. Just as heavy as they could get them, and as big a tire as they could get on them. And hell, I forget. I think the one guy had a Detroit, big old inline Detroit in one, and that thing would just slobber oil and everything else going down the track. And I don't think he could strap another weight on the thing anywhere. He did good, but it would scream.
That was one thing about an old Detroit. Them old Detroits.
Yeah.
You pull up to the fuel station and you check the fuel and add oil.
I mean, they turn 8,000 RPMs or something like that.
Yeah.
They sound like it.
Yeah. Well, they're two stroke. They're supercharged, and then they figured out if they put the turbo and a supercharger on them, that they really made horsepower. So, they boost the intake to the supercharger, and I think some of them guys were running 100, 150 psi head pressure, and they just completely lift the heads or blow the bottom of the blocks out.
Yeah.
But I missed my chance back when I was in high school, where I went to school at. The shop we were in, I was in the ag production farm management class. In years past, that was the diesel shop. Well, they quit doing diesel mechanics there.
Yeah.
That's actually what I signed up for in the summer between my 10th and 11th, because you went 2 years, 11th and 12th grade, to the vocational school. Well, between the 10th and 11th grade that summer, they decided they discontinued the diesel class. Well, the farm ag was the closest thing I could get to it, because the mechanical, the industrial diesel class, or whatever they called it, it was a joke. I didn't want anything to do with them guys. But sitting out back of our shop, there was a V12 Detroit with the blower and turbochargers still on it, sitting in a little alcove it had a roof over it. But that and a couple of big Cummins engines, and there's another one in there too. But there was a V12 Detroit sitting in there, and I guess it'd been my senior year, they decided they were going to scrap all that stuff. Dude come in and loaded all that stuff up, hauled it off. And I missed my chance of getting the V12 Detroit. And they ran. That was the bet. They were on running stands. All you had to do is put a battery and a fuel tank on them. So
it's amazing they scrapped them.
It was they didn't go to scrap. He loaded them on a trailer, and I know what they said they were going to another diesel class, but
yeah.
Them things were so old and outdated at that time that's why they were out there, because you weren't doing diagnosis on V12 Detroits anymore. So
when I was growing up, the old man drove a car carrier, and them old single cabos, them old single seat. Because you bought them off of the new car haulers, which was Union, so they didn't have passenger seats in them.
Right.
Well, I didn't even know I never did have a seat in one, because the old man had them. The one he drove was a 238 Detroit. He had to put I sat on a case of oil. That's what I sat on all the time, because he had to carry the oil with him to keep it going. So.
I actually just watched a video today. Guy was supposed to go to a junkyard. He had talked to him about going in, and there's supposed to be cars in there from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. He was going to go in and do video and everything, and try to maybe help promote some sales of some of the stuff. And he said he got there, and the guy that owned the scrapyard or junkyard wouldn't answer his phone. The gates were locked. Wouldn't open the gates. Wouldn't answer the door at the business or anything. So he was turning around to come back home, and he happened to see this place where there was a whole bunch of trucks sitting. And dude, they had so many day cab overs back behind them. They were still being used. They weren't like off the road, sitting in the weeds. These things still had trailers hooked to them. And there was a white, which reminded me of one we had where I worked at, just a day cab. And then they had a couple internationals. And there's just something about an international day cab over that, I love the look of them. I don't know what it is. They're just.
Well, I didn't even really know too much of, this is old GMC, what I was talking about with 238 on. But when Daddy moved got over to the cab over side of it, pulling the car, they didn't had the car over the top of it.
Yeah.
And shoot, I thought I was in heaven until we went through New York City one night, and I going across that GW bridge, and I was in a sleeper. and I swear you can still, to this day, you can still see the daggum same potholes in that road going across there. You can actually see the water when you look down through it from the cab over down across that bridge. So,
hi, DNR.
Hey, DNR.
Oh, you remember back when UPS had all the cab over Max that was their road trucks?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we had a at the truck garage I worked at. The owner would always go to the auctions, and he'd buy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, trucks.
Yeah.
Old fleet trucks. Bring them back. We'd go through them, clean them, paint the frames if they needed painted. Remove any kind of decals, buff the paints, clean the tanks. He'd resell a bunch of them. Well, the one time he went and he bought, I think it was 6 Freightliners, real nice trucks, low mileage, low hours. Well, when he went and picked them up, there was an old GMC cab over day cab single axle sitting there with his Freightliners, and he's like, he goes, that's not mine. He goes, they're like, yeah, it is. He's like, no, that wasn't in the lot I bought. Like, yeah, it was. He's like, no. He goes, here's my bill of sales. They're like, it's the last truck on the lot. It's yours. Take it. So
No.
he's like, what am I going to do with this thing? So he brought it back, and he's like, well, I guess we'll just, pull the motor out, pull the transmission out, pull the rear axle, suspension, whatever we need to do. We started moving trailers around with it, empties, not full, but empty ones, and it was just a little. I think it was a 10-speed, and we started moving trailers stuff around with it, and he's like, okay, fine. He goes, throw some paint on that, because it was a weird color, and he goes, throw some paint on that damn thing, and slap some door stickers on it, and he said, we might get plates on it, we might not. He said, but you guys can use it to move trailers and shit around. And so we went over into the side room there to see what we had. 3 colors of paint. We had a gray, we had black for frames, and we had this light baby poop brown. And I'm like, well, I said, we're not painting it black. I said, we're not painting it that other gray color because that looks like a freaking battleship. Nasty shit. I said, so I guess it's going to be brown. So we started calling it the turd, and that little thing, it would not die. We smoked the tires on it in the bay, get the bay wet. We'd smoke the tires on it. And the one guy even tried flipping it over forward because he swore up and down, left, right, and sideways. He could get that thing to lift the back tires off the ground if he got going fast enough and slammed the brakes on. Well, he never even lifted a back tire, but it looked like it if you hit the brakes hard enough. So all right, y'all. I'm over my hour. I appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a great holiday tomorrow. Again, thanks to
What are you cooking tomorrow?
I think I'm gonna do shish kebabs.
I'll be over.
All right, I'll be here.
Don't start without me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna promise that. So, but thank you to all of our past, present, and future military people. Appreciate what you've done. I was too big of a wussy to ever get into the military, but I do appreciate y'all. And remember, if anybody's looking for a Simplicity 7112, get a hold of me. It's got a mower deck and a tiller and a vinyl cab. My brother's looking to sell it. So appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And remember, hit that like button on your way out. And the last one, please shut the lights off. We'll catch y'all later.
Later.